The basic premise behind quantum computing is simple. Take everything we know about regular computing, binary logic, transistors, and the comforting certainty of ones and zeros, then throw it out the nearest airlock and replace it with a system so profoundly counterintuitive that even the people developing it occasionally break into a cold sweat. The idea is that unlike the boring old on or off bits of classical computing, quantum bits or qubits can exist in a nebulous state of being both on and off simultaneously, much like a light switch operated by an indecisive ghost. This, in theory, allows quantum computers to process multiple possibilities at once, solving problems at speeds that make traditional computers look like they're powered by damp string and a pair of tired hamsters. Naturally, humans are very excited about this. Governments, corporations, and people with very large glasses have poured vast sums of money into building the first truly useful quantum computer. The general belief is that once they crack the problem, they will unlock untold scientific advancements, revolutionize cryptography, and, perhaps most importantly, finally be able to Google something without having to wait an entire second. The rest of the universe, however, stopped caring about quantum computing a long time ago. In fact, not only did they stop caring, but most advanced civilizations actively pretend it was never a thing to begin with. There are entire intergalactic forums where the subject is banned outright, alongside discussions about time travel paradoxes, pineapple on pizza, and whether hoverboards should have wheels. The reason for this is straightforward. Quantum computing does not work. It turns out that while qubits can exist in multiple states at once, they also have a deeply unfortunate habit of collapsing into complete nonsense at the slightest provocation. Looking at them, collapsed. Thinking about them, collapsed. Walking past the laboratory with a slightly judgmental expression, collapsed. The only way to successfully operate a quantum computer is to put it in a box, launch it into deep space, and make absolutely certain that nobody, anywhere, ever interacts with it. This, for obvious reasons, makes it rather difficult to retrieve any useful results. The final straw came when an ambitious civilization known as the Thernians actually did manage to get a quantum computer working. The whole galaxy held its breath as they ran their first calculation. Something about the fundamental nature of the universe and whether it was possible to make a decent cup of tea in zero gravity. The result was instantaneous. As soon as the calculation was complete, the entire Thernian civilization stopped existing. Not destroyed, not wiped out in a blaze of quantum glory, just not there anymore. It was as if they'd never been. Archaeologists were baffled to discover that their home planet now contained no trace of ever having been inhabited. Their interstellar communications logs were found to contain only static, and their most treasured cultural artifacts, such as the great statue of Thurn the Wise, had been reduced to a single souvenir keychain with a picture of a sad-looking duck on it. At this point, the rest of the universe made an executive decision and collectively agreed to move on. Instead, they adopted a far superior form of computing known as incomprehensibly advanced stick-based computation. The premise was simple. Each civilization would be issued a single stick, just a normal, ordinary stick, which, when waved around in the correct manner, would produce whatever answer was required, with 100% accuracy every time. The exact mechanics of this process were never fully understood, but it worked flawlessly, was completely immune to quantum fluctuations, and required absolutely no energy input other than occasional polishing. Some of the most advanced beings in the universe had attempted to study the inner workings of these sticks, only to find that doing so caused the sticks to vanish and be replaced with a note reading, "Don't ask, just enjoy it." Humans, of course, have yet to be issued their sticks. The general consensus among the rest of the galaxy is that they still need to go through the whole futile quantum computing phase before they'll appreciate the sheer elegance of the stick solution. Until then, humanity will continue its noble efforts to wrestle with an inherently unworkable system, pouring billions of dollars into laboratories filled with superconducting circuits, cryogenic freezers, and deeply perplexed physicists. Eventually, in the distant future, they will finally have their great breakthrough, the ultimate quantum computation that will solve all their problems in an instant. And then, of course, they will promptly stop existing.